Hey there, parents and students. Welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you're in Ontario, chances are you've heard those four intimidating letters, EQAO. You might even be experiencing that universal wave of parental panic that kind of just seems to strike the moment standardized testing is mentioned. But hey, take a deep breath. Today, I'm going to act as your personal coach to completely demystify the Grade 6 EQAO assessment. I'm going to show you exactly why it is absolutely nothing to fear. Okay, let's dive right into this.
You know, you've probably heard those four letters whispered nervously in the school hallways or discussed at parent-teacher interviews. But let's start by validating that uncertainty and addressing the biggest question on your mind right now. What on earth actually is EQAO and why do we even take it? So here is our game plan for today. 1. What EQAO is. 2. Reading and writing. 3. Demystifying the math section. 4. Test logistics and scores. And 5. Our top tips for success.
All right, let's jump right into section 1. What is EQAO?
So EQAO actually stands for the Education Quality and Accountability Office. I know, it sounds super formal, right? But their goal is actually pretty straightforward. They're an Ontario agency responsible for creating standardized assessments for students across the entire province. But what's really interesting here is what isn't explicitly stated. This is not a test designed to pass or fail students. It simply measures how well students understand the concepts they've been learning all the way from grades 1 through 6.
Here is the absolutely crucial point. Instead of viewing it as a high-pressure, university-style exam, I want you to think of this as a completely harmless progress checkup. The province just uses these results to identify learning trends, see how schools are performing, figure out where students are struggling, and highlight exactly where additional educational support is needed. It's like a giant thermometer for the whole school system.
Moving right along to section 2, reading and writing.
First up, the reading portion. Listen, this section is all about critical thinking, not just memorization. It tests your ability to analyze different types of texts. So you might see short stories, articles, poems, or even graphs and charts. You'll need to understand written information, find key ideas, make inferences, analyze details, and figure out vocabulary based on the context of the sentence. For example, say you're reading a quick article about protecting the environment. You're going to see questions exactly like these. What is the main idea of this article? Or what evidence supports the author's opinion? You'll answer these through multiple choice, short answer, and sometimes opinion-based explanations. And honestly, this brings up our biggest tip for the reading section. Always go back to the text to hunt for hidden clues. The answer is almost always just waiting for you right there in the details. Now on to the writing section. This evaluates how clearly you can organize and communicate your ideas. You might be asked to write paragraphs or respond to a really fun prompt like this one. Do you think schools should have longer recess breaks? Explain your opinion using reasons and examples. And hey, don't stress, evaluators are absolutely not looking for the next flawless novel here. What matters most are clear ideas, logical organization, and supporting details. If you want to grab those top marks for clarity, grammar, and structure, just build your response using these 4 steps. Start with a solid introduction. Provide your supporting reasons, back those up with concrete examples, and wrap the whole thing up with a conclusion. Oh, and another huge tip here. Always take a quick moment to reread your work before hitting submit. You'd be amazed at how many simple spelling and punctuation mistakes you can catch just by doing that.
Okay, let's tackle section 3, demystifying the math section.
I've got the absolute best news for you here. There are no trick questions. Seriously. Every single multiple choice, short answer, or multi-step word problem you encounter is pulled straight from the Ontario curriculum you've already been learning. We're talking number sense, fractions, decimals, ratios, percentages, geometry, measurement, algebra, data management, and problem solving. Let's see how this builds into problem solving. For instance, you might see a multi-step word problem asking for the sale price of an $80 backpack with a 25% discount. Well, let's think about it. 25% of 80 is 20, and 80 minus 20 gives you a sale price of 60 bucks. Or take a baking example. You might be asked to calculate how much sugar is needed to bake 3 cakes if one recipe requires 3/4 of a cup. 3 times 3/4 gives you 9 quarters or 2 1/4 cups. Easy, right? Now, notice the difference between just writing down a final answer versus showing your work. This is massive. Showing your calculations and reasoning is far better than just throwing down a final answer. Why? Because the EQAO doesn't just care about the final number,
They want to see your actual thinking process. They often award partial marks even if your final answer is slightly off, as long as your problem solving makes logical sense. So always, always show your work. All right, Section 4, Test Logistics and Scores. Let's talk about what actually happens on the day. So, what is the reality on the ground? Well, these days, most grade 6 students complete the EQAO online using school computers or tablets. And no, it is not one giant marathon. The assessment is divided into smaller sessions spread out over several days to keep things totally manageable. Your familiar teachers are right there in the classroom with you to read instructions and provide approved accommodations. The environment is highly supportive. You're completely allowed to use digital math manipulatives, scratch paper, and accessibility tools to show what you already know. When we look at scoring, your results are grouped cleanly into 4 achievement levels. Level 1 is below standard, Level 2 is approaching standard, Level 3 is meeting the standard, and Level 4 is exceeding it. Level 3 is kind of the sweet spot. That's your main goal because it indicates a really solid, healthy understanding of grade 6 expectations. Okay, pause. Listen closely, because this is the single most reassuring fact for parents and students to remember today. EQAO usually does not directly affect your report card grades. Phew, right? Your results are primarily used to evaluate school programs, monitor learning trends, and improve education across Ontario. They aren't there to punish your personal report card. So try your absolute best, but seriously, do not panic. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Top Tips for Success.
Look, cramming the night before just doesn't work. We all know it. Instead, just confidently follow these 5 fast tips to perform at your absolute best. Number 1, read every single question carefully. 2, show all your math work to get those partial marks. 3, use complete sentences in your writing. 4, check your answers before submitting. And 5, stay calm and take your time. Your confidence truly matters here. Knowing that the official EQAO website offers fantastic, completely free practice materials, I'm going to leave you with a quick final challenge. The best preparation is just consistent practice and believing in your own abilities. So, will you spend just 10 minutes exploring a few sample questions tonight? You might be surprised by how much confidence that single little action builds before the big day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. You've got this, and we'll see you next time.